round 6 of the World Endurance Championship, and the competition is getting tight across all of the classes. So while I go and enjoy the sights and the sounds of 6th Street, why don't you head a couple of kilometres down the road to the Circuit of the Americas. 5.5 kilometres of undulating track with tough sequences of turns. This is an extremely popular one for the drivers, but it's also very challenging. And it's not just the track they have to contend with. Don't forget the temperature.
The heat is always tough in Austin. I mean, it's a great place to race, it's a great city to be in, but it's normally a hot race here in Texas in the middle of summer. It adds another challenge to not only how we drive in the car, but also how the engineers look after the car whilst it's on track, managing the different temperatures and how much air is going through the car.
I think the first sector through the S's, it reminds me of Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone. Really suits this car. We've got, good downforce, and it's a really fast flowing section, really enjoyable to drive when you hook it all up.
You go in with such high speeds, and especially for us in our LMP2 cars this year with more downforce, more power, it's going to be really, really tricky, these sections. It's where you can lose or gain the most time, so you have to be so precise and so accurate, you almost have to treat it like it's a street circuit.
We've come to the top of the tower to look at this incredible view. Alan, this is superb. What is it about this circuit?
It's a new circuit. It was only basically brought onto the calendar in 2013, but it's got a lot of character of an old track. It's got the up and down, the different cambers. Turn 1's what you see on the television with the big elevation change, and then dropping down into turn 2 and 3. But all this section here through the S's, how it all tightens up. Then you've got the triple right-hander leading down to the last couple of corners. They're all very difficult on their own right, but when you piece it together, when you finish the lap, you've had to work for it, and that's really satisfying. From a fan's perspective, great view, it produces good races, and I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like coming to COTA.
Austin, Texas, Saturday morning. Temperature already heading towards the 90s as the fans pack the circuit to meet the drivers and see the World Endurance Championship machinery up close and personal. Crowd flood onto the grid to see the cars at close quarters and sample the pre-race atmosphere. And as ever in Austin, plenty of Texas charm and a warm welcome for everyone.
It's awesome. I'm learning more about cars hours because of this guy.
It's her first endurance race. She's been seeing sprint races in the past, but I'm trying to show her the 6 hours of COTA and then hopefully 24 hours of Le Mans next year. So.
It's great. We got invited down here, you know, as a customer of somebody's. It's great so far. We're having fun. Beautiful day, nice and cool. Looks like it's going to be a good race.
Fans old and new joined by some famous faces mingling with the crowds.
It's fantastic. We're spending more time in the US, so I got obviously good friends with Bruno and Nelson, and I got to know Colin, and they invited us to come over here. After Le Mans, I got more and more interested in the event, so you know, it's good talking and good to see some of my old friends.
It's incredible being here, seeing all the cars, and also to be here for, you know, the single-seaters and the open-wheel racing. It's great. I love this track. Facilities here are fantastic, but yeah, great to get up close to these machines.
Pole sitters in the GTE AM class, the 98 Aston Martin crew, who won the race last season. In GTE Pro, qualifying was topped by Davide Rigon Sam Bird and the number 71 AF Corsa Ferrari.
I train a lot on the heat to be ready for this situation. But the most effect is on the car now, mainly on the tires. That is the point. The tire will have a big drag. We have just 4 sets to use in 6 hours. So, yeah, it will be tough for everybody, but we are well prepared for it.
Senior Tech Alpine claimed pole position in the LMP2 class, starting 5th on the grid behind the P1 prototypes. Lining up 3rd, the LMP1 Toyota number 8. Stefan Sarazan rejoining the team this weekend, but he knows they're up against tough opposition.
They are really fast. We have a good car, honestly. We have a good package, but they did a big step since Nürburgring, and it will be difficult to fight with them, but we give our best, and we know with experience that in 6 hours a lot of things can happen.
Porsche was the dominant force in qualifying. The number 2 car, the championship leaders, lining up on the outside of the front row of the grid. Pole position, though, claimed with a last gasp lap by Nick Tandy for car number 1.
Well, starting from the front of the very busy grid that's been open to the public here at COTA, it's Andre Losra. Your teammates did a great job in qualifying, so what are you looking forward to, or what do you think is going to happen throughout the race?
Yeah, they did very well. It was a very close quali between both cars, and our car is really good also in the average lap time, so yeah, we're looking forward to a good race. Hopefully the Toyota can challenge us. I mean, it sounds bad to say this, but obviously we like close racing, and that's what racing is about. So hopefully we'll get a bit of action, and if not, it's still a 6-hour race in the heat. So even if you have the best car, you still have to go till the finish. A lot of cars to overtake, and with the heat, you never know what happens.
1 minute board on the grid. Before the line under the start lights at the end.
Ready for the start of the 6 hours of the Circuit of the Americas. Neil Jarni and Timo Bernhard side by side pace the field, and as the lights change, a great start from the number 1 Porsche. Sweeping uphill into turn 1. It's all arms and elbows behind in the GT class and 4 wide in LMP2 as the Signatec Alpine leads the charge down the hill. Around the outside, G-Drive and Manor get together, but look at the white car with the red roof. That's Mathieu Vazivière in the TDS Racing Machine. Sweeps around the outside to pick up about 4 spots. So it is Signatec ahead of the 2 Rebellions in LMP2, with the number 38 Jackie Chan DC Racing giving chase. And Mathieu Vazivière right behind, looking for a way through. Look at the white car, he sweeps around the outside of the 38, and there's not enough room. A spin from Vazivière, all that hard work undone. He will drop right to the tail of the field. GT field has been mixed up as well. The Aston Martin has taken the lead, and look at the Porsches. Where have they come from? They were nowhere in qualifying. Oh, and it's close at the hairpin. And that was nearly disastrous for the 91 Porsche and the 67 Ford that leads the GTE Pro Championship. The Porsche alongside the Ford. He's got the inside line, and look, the Aston Martin trying to follow through on the right-hand side of your screen. 67, the car being started by Andy Prio.
Yeah, someone hit me big time on the arse. Should be okay. Copy.
Battle for second place. Number 2 Porsche. Up the inside of him has gone the number 8 Toyota. Sebastian Buemi from 3rd on the grid grabs second place on the opening lap. Where has this race pace come from Toyota? They were nowhere in qualifying, and yet they are taking the fight to the Porsches. Sweeping up into turn 1. Here comes another 7 car. Mike Conway moves up into 3rd. And the championship leaders have been shuffled back down to 4th place. But look at this, Timo Bernhard in car number 2, trying to come back at him into turn 2. Change for the lead in GTE-AM. Francesco Castellacci in the 54 Ferrari. Inside, Paul Dalla, the pole sitter in the 98 Aston. The Aston Martin, Paul Dalla taking the start in what will be the coolest of conditions during the day. The midday start will see the race finish at 6 p.m, not running into darkness as before. Down the inside, 61 Clearwater Ferrari. Keitasawa outbrakes himself, and Dalla retakes 2nd, but this is going to be a long, tough fight for everyone. Searing heat of a Texas afternoon inside the cockpits, temperature well into 3 figures. And on board the number 8 Toyota, working through traffic. Within the first 2 or 3 laps, the traffic is intermingled, and the prototype drivers and the GT cars alike have a big job on their hands. There goes the leader, the number 1 Porsche. And the number 8 Toyota is coming through the field. Just an indication of how tough it can be. Number 8 car having to take to the runoff area to get through. Down at the hairpin, Keitasawa again trying for 2nd place. Oh, and contact! Paul Dalla had a bit of a slide off the corner, had to lift off the throttle, and Sawa was fully committed to the gas. Take a look again. Watch the rear end of the Aston Martin. Yeah, he had a slide there, had to have a little lift, and Sawa had nowhere to go. Damage on the rear splitter of the Aston. They may have to change that at the first stop. Team not happy with that. Mike Conway in Toyota number 7, looking to go around the outside of his teammate Sebastian Buemi in the number 8 car for 2nd place. And Conway has more pace, it seems, than his teammate, wants to get ahead. and attack the Porsche for the lead of the race.
You are quicker, you stay ahead at the moment, you stay ahead.
Radio traffic from Toyota suggesting that Buemi is quicker. The lap times show he is not. Every time they're separated by traffic, Conway closes right up immediately. Looking back from Andy Prio. Oh, how close is this? P2 38 car as well. So 3 different classes, all going for the same apex, and it can get very tight indeed for the GT cars. Race leader also having to work his way through traffic. This could be a tough race for Porsche. Neil Jarni leads in LMP1, Nico Lapierre in LMP2. Nicky Team in charge of GTE Pro in the Aston. Francesco Castellacci is our GTE AM leader. Toyota in traffic, Mike Conway with cars left, right and centre. And here is the GTE Pro battle for second. 51 Ferrari hanging on just having got in front of the 71 sister car. So Davide Rigon, the pole sitter, now down in third position. Oh, what was this? Trouble for the Aston Martin, slowing in the tight section at the end of the lap. Ferrari's going past. So 51, James Collado with the leader now, 71. Davide Rigon also goes by the Aston Martin. And that's bad news for Nicky Team. The Dane has led almost the entire first hour, now shuffled down to third. Leaders in the pit lane. Number 1 Porsche, 8 and 7 Toyota. Porsche told us pre-race they were going to use the starting tyre just for 1 stint. And the Toyotas may double stint. Battle for the GTE Pro second place continues. Nicky Team determined not to give it away easily. But Davide Rigon looks like he's got his nose in front. Look at the Toyotas, 1-2 ahead of Porsche. They haven't changed tyres, and that's given them the lead.
It's a lot tighter than we thought, actually, which is good. It will be an interesting race. We opted not to double stint on the first stint, which we'll see if it will play out at the end. For track position, obviously, was not ideal, but yeah, the race is on.
Battle for fourth place in LMP2, well alight. Number 38, Jackie Chan DC racing car, Hopin Tung under pressure. Pierre Thirier sends it down the inside in the hairpin. 26 gets through, and Julian Canal, the door was open, and he has taken a chance to get through as well. So up to fourth has gone the G-Drive car, but Julian Canal with an overlap, he's coming. Oh, hits the bumps, and that reduces the traction, and that was just enough, I think, to keep Pierre Thirier in front. Yes, turns in across the nose of Julian Canal. LMP2 too close to call at the moment. Red and black car is Alex Brundle. He's had a great run through the field. Now for the lead. He's got a run going on Nelson Piquet as well. He got a great exit out of the turn 11 hairpin, and he will take the lead for Jackie Chan DC Racing. The Violent Rebellion number 13 car in second place. And it's been a great stint by Brundle to bring that car through to the lead of the class. Jose Maria Lopez, the number 7 Toyota, under real pressure now from Andre Lotra. And this is the end of that 2-tyre run from the beginning of the race. Lopez getting in with used tyres. Lotra now has fresher rubber on than the Toyota, and he is coming hard and fast. The speed advantage is clear. Can Lopez hang on? That's him in the left. Right-hand side, you can see Andre Lotra. They're both cool, calm and collected as they carve their way past the Clearwater Racing Ferrari, and Lopez using the traffic well. On board with the Porsche. Every time Lopez gets free, oh, and he drifts out wide onto the dirt, trying to go around the Jackie Chan DC racing car. There's a chance, the Porsche up the inside, through into the 3 right-handers, but Lopez refused to lift. The Porsche is there again. Contact. Jose Maria Lopez bumped out by Andre Lotra. Porsche has second place on the back straight, but look at the Toyota. Lopez using the hybrid boost override. He's back down alongside the Porsche. They almost touch again. Lopez takes the inside line at turn 12. And Lotterer, now he's boosting, having recharged the batteries under braking, but so had Lopez, nose to tail. Nick Tandy can't tell which way this is going. His teammate Andre Lotterer down the inside into corner 20, the last on the lap, and again Lopez uses the overboost to retake the lead. There are slower cars in front. Lotterer can't go to the outside, and so it's the inside line. Jose Maria Lopez controls the corner. Can he get it stopped? Yes. Can he get it off the turn? Yes, but Lotterer's got drive once more using his hybrid power. Fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing, 90 minutes in, and the Porsche finally, it seems, making that new tyre advantage pay, or is he? Again, Lopez refuses to concede the position. And right behind, closing in, is the number 2 Porsche as Lopez swaps to the inside. Has he got the traction? Well, on older tyres, he shouldn't have, and he's still side by side with Lotterer. The tight left, Lotterer gets his nose back in front. What a battle from sports car rookie Jose Maria Lopez against the ultra-experienced Andre Lotterer. And that is why Toyota put their faith in the 3-time World Touring Car Champion, because above all else, he is a racer. Into the pits, the number 2 Porsche was third briefly, drops to 4th as it stops for Brendan Hartley to hand over to Earl Bamber. And Bamber will have to continue on this set of tyres. No new tyre advantage for him. Number 8 Toyota is in. They will change tyres as well as driver. Nakajima handing over to Sarazan. Toyota looking really competitive at the moment. In 2 is the number 7 car. And what a stint that was by Jose Maria Lopez.
It was a bit tough, but I knew. I just, I wanted to give a fight, you know. Just going back to Nürburgring, when I had to fight with these guys, you know, I was new. I made life to them a bit easier, even if they had more potential than us. But today, yeah, I wanted to fight. I didn't want to give my position.
In from the lead is Andre Lotterer, Porsche number 1. Now they will keep their tyres on, so this will be a quicker stop. Should be fuel and driver change. The driver change can be done as Nick Tandy gets in while the fuel is going on. Fuel hose is clear and away goes the Porsche. So Nick Tandy now being challenged by the number 2 car. Looking further back down the straight as Tandy exits the pit lane. There is Earl Bamber, but it is going to be the number 1 Porsche that has the lead. Bamber will close hard and fast. Battle for third in LMP2, Nico Prost in the inset as Alex Lynn's orange G-Drive car dive bombs him at the hairpin, but Lynn drifts out wide. Not a good exit off the corner, and through again comes Nico Prost. No question, Lynn was fast on the brakes, and down the inside again, here he comes. Late lunge from Alex Lynn, and he retakes third place as the GT Pro Ferraris try desperately to stay out of the way. Great battle for the lead in LMP2. Alex Brundle has held it, but on older tyres now the grip is going away from the 37 car, and Andre Negrão for Signatech slips by at the end of the back straight. He's been closing in for several laps, and Brundle's double stinted tyres are really starting to give up the ghost. Change of lead in the GT Pro class. 2 green lights on the side of 51 shows that at the beginning of this sector of the lap it was in second place, but now it has taken the lead. James Collado in front of Davide Rigon, and this is where he did it. Sailed up the inside into turn 1. Close, but no contact between the teammates. Battle for third between the Aston that led in the first hour of the race and the 92 Porsche that had an engine change in first free practice and struggled in qualifying. But a new tyre for the race seems to be helping Porsche's performance. They actually look like podium contenders. Battle for third place is between the Toyotas in LMP1. Stefan Sarazan in front of us. We ride with Kamui Kobayashi down the inside. And as we saw earlier in the race, it looks like the number 7 car has a tiny bit more pace. And that might be the car chosen to chase down the Porsches. On board with Bruno Senna, 4th place in LMP2 in the 31 Vaillant Rebellion.
Senna is behind on new tyres. Gap is 2.5. We want to hold track position.
Well, there was the message to Roman Rusinov in the orange and black G-Drive car, but Rusinov, you just saw being gobbled up down the straight now. Was that all Senna's drive off the hairpin? It looked as though he came from a long way back to move up to 3rd. Tough weekend for Ford at home in the USA. Harry Tincknell, 67, 66. His teammate Stefan Mucker. They are squabbling over 6th position in the GTE Pro class. Tincknell and his teammate are the championship leaders, don't forget. 66 car goes in front, courtesy of fresher rubber. But either way, Harry Tincknell and Andy Prio are going to see their championship lead severely eroded here. Fantastic battle between Porsche and Toyota, still halfway almost into the race. Kamui Kobayashi in the Toyota coming back at the number 2 car of Earl Bamber. And as the new tyre, old tyre sequences don't coincide, at some stages the Porsche has more grip, at others it's the Toyota, and that is what is keeping this race alive. How it's going to work out at the end, we will only know in the final stint, but like Jose Maria Lopez earlier in the Toyota on older rubber, Earl Bamber, despite having older rubber, is refusing to give up easily to Kamui Kobayashi. There are their teammates, Mike Conway on the right, Timo Bernhardt on the left, suited and ready to take over. Into the pit lane comes the battle. It'll be a shorter stop for the Toyota. Mike Conway will take over with a full tank of fuel, but a stint old rubber, and then he will try and take the battle to the fresher tired Porsche. The shorter stop will give him a time advantage. So out comes the Toyota, and the Porsche will be 20-25 seconds behind by the time he gets up to speed. Battle rages with the number 1 Porsche leading out front. Replay here of Mike Wainwright in the Gulf Racing Porsche, losing it into the S's. Ooh, and bouncing across the gravel trap, but no damage done, it seems. And here we go. Oh, my goodness! Down at turn 11, and this is Mike Wainwright. That looked like a brake issue. I wonder if that tripped through the gravel trap, ended up with a stone in the caliper. Safety car is out at the mid-race point. And that's to repair those Tech Pro barriers down at the turn 11 hairpin. Halfway through the race, Porsche lead a tight battle, half a second ahead of the number 7 Toyota. Signatech Alpine equally tight in LMP2. In the GTE Pro class, it's all about Ferrari at the moment. And in the GTE AM, the 98 Aston Martin battling for supremacy with the Clearwater and Spirit of Race Ferraris. It's the number 36 Alpine that has lost most. Their big lead in LMP2 has vanished.
Yeah, the safety car came in the wrong hour now for us. We lost everything that we gained into now. Remain 3 hours to go, so yeah, focus to just create a gap again, and that's it.
Back to green flag racing, just under half the 6 hours of COTA left to go. Number 1 Porsche just feet ahead of the number 7 Toyota. Here's the 3rd place car, Sebastian Buemi in the number 8 machine, and right behind him, Timo Bernhardt in Porsche number 2. With the Toyotas on older tyres, the Porsches on fresher rubber, this may be a turning point in the LMP1 race. Battle for 2nd place now. Davide Rigon dive-bombed by Kevin Estre in the Porsche. The GTE Pro class really coming alive for Porsche. There's Sam Bird, Rigon's teammate. Out front, James Collado and Alessandro Pierguidi's Ferrari. But the Porsche up to 2nd position. Nico Prost in the Vaillant Rebellion. Right behind the number 37 Jackie Chan machine, and right behind him is the number 13 Rebellion car as well. Rebellion having a great run at the moment. They both go around the outside of David Cheng, the DC in DC Racing. He drops to 5th as Prost and Piquet move up to 3rd and 4th. There are the two Toyotas, and right behind Mike Conway now is Timo Bernhardt, and look at the way he's coming with a head of steam. Number 8 car Sebastian Buemi has moved up to 2nd ahead of Conway, who was 2nd at the restart. And look at this, through goes Timo Bernhardt, the championship leading number 2 Porsche, still, as in the very first lap of the race, battling with the two Toyotas while the number 1 Porsche leads the race. Jackie Chan DC Racing cars under attack from G-Drive's Alex Lin. He goes by David Cheng to go to 4th in LMP2, and right behind with the white highlights, that's Ho Pintung in the mighty 38. But look at the Fortune car, 37, goes straight by Alex Lin on the long back straight, and so does the 38. And we saw this earlier, nothing wrong with Lin's car under braking. Have they got a power issue? Is there an engine problem or an electronic problem of some kind? Maybe gear shifting with that number 26 car. GTE Pro battle 1, 2, 3 across the line, as close as that. And after qualifying, who would have put money on a Porsche being a podium competitor? Davide Rigon leads narrowly from Kevin Estra in 92, and James Collado right behind in the 51 Ferrari. And the Porsche has got the grip to go around the outside of the Ferraris into turn 2 and take the lead of the race into turn 3. 2 hours and 30 minutes still to go, give or take, but Porsche with performance that qualifying definitely didn't promise. Nicky Team attacking for 3rd place. Davide Rigon, half a dozen laps ago, led GTE Pro. Now he's down to 4th place in the 71 Ferrari. Is there something amiss? Have they got a bad set of tyres? Is there something else going on with that red car? 36 Senior Tech Alpine still leading in the LMP2 class. Nico Lapierre has just taken the car over. He heads out. And about half an hour after they lost their lead to the safety car, they now have a 30-second advantage. Alex Lin in at G-Drive. New tail end going on the car. They had a light out. But what else ails it? Maybe they have a small electrical problem. Perhaps that might clear it up. Jose Maria Lopez drops into the cockpit of the number 7 Toyota, taking over from Mike Conway. The car came in still in 2nd place, but a longer stop here. It will have fresh rubber when he goes back out, but Porsche will be 1-2. Toyota will be back down to 3-4. Was the safety car the factor that swung the balance in this race? Race leader Neil Jarni in the number 1 Porsche on pit road. Brendan Hartley in 2nd place in Porsche number 2. As Jarni hands over to Andre Lotterer. Number 2 team are the better placed in the championship, but number 1 has the pace here. Goes back out in front. Kazuki Nakajima in 3rd place in the number 8 Toyota. Number 7 car with Jose Maria Lopez in 4th. Andre Lotterer looking to keep up the speed to try and claim a 3rd straight victory for a number 1 Porsche here in Austin, Texas. GTE AM leader 61, Clearwater Racing Ferrari on pit road. Kotasawa handing over to Weng Sung Mok. Into is the 98 car from 2nd place. Great battle for the team on pit road. Looks like the Ferrari will stay in front narrowly. Off goes the Aston in hot pursuit. GTE Pro Class leader in the pit lane, the 92 Porsche that struggled so much in free practice and qualifying. Is it tyres? Is it strategy? For some reason, after the safety car, the car has come alive.
Yeah, it was a long double stint with this safety car in the middle. The first part was okay, but I couldn't really pass the Aston. And then after the safety car on the restart, we had a really good car. I had a good restart, could pass the Aston, then could pass the Ferrari. Then the boys made a good pit stop, so we could pass the other Ferrari for the lead. I couldn't hold him back. He was a bit too quick, but we got the 2nd place, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we keep this on.
GTE AM lead change. Pedro Lamy in the 98 Aston Martin, last year's winner, ahead now of the Clearwater Ferrari. Pedro Lamy leads in AMS. Sam Bird back in front in the 71 Ferrari in the Pro class. Nico Lapierre and Senior Tech still in front in LMP2. And André Lotter, the #1 Porsche, dominating the race in LMP1. Julian Canal leading in the LMP2 class in the 31 Rebellion. But right behind him is the number 36 Senior Tech car. Nico Lapierre handed over to teammate Andre Negrão, and Negrão trying to go by and does, gets inside at the hairpin. Negrão moves from second, having just left the pits in front of the Rebellion.
Julien, box confirms this lap, driver change to Bruno.
Bruno Senna awaits on his marks, the 31 car. Julian Canal will bail out. It'll be a full tank of fuel for the Brazilian, but he will go out on used rubber, and that will undo some of their lap deficit to the Senior Tech that leads the class. Pit stop for the number 7 Toyota. Mike Conway out. Kamui Kobayashi gets in. It'll be fuel and tyres this time. Fresh rubber going on to try and give the Toyota another great shot at a podium finish here. Brendan Hartley in the number 2 Porsche, and he will hand over to fellow Kiwi Earl Bamber. And again, the Porsche will take tyres. They're not as fresh as the Toyotas. Trouble for André Lotter, the race leader, going around the GT Porsche 92, but look inside. Number 7 Toyota, Kamui Kobayashi, trying to unlap himself on the 1 Porsche, and there was contact. Kobayashi dives to the inside. I think the number 1 car has got away with that. Into the pit lane, André Lotter. No puncture, looks like no damage on the left rear. The noise of the Toyota probably hit him in the wheel. The question is, will there be any long-term consequences? Drive shaft, gearbox, hybrid system, all of that. Quick stop, he's off and away. And the reason he's off and away quickly is coming down the straight. Nick Tandy in car number 1, Earl Bamber in car number 2, very much closer, within half a second as they turn into turn 1. Both on fresh tyres, new driver, full tank of fuel, and just over an hour to go. André Lotter watching his teammate in the lead, but Nick Tandy's gone off. Or has he? Through goes the number 2 car, will take the lead. Tandy is still there in car number 1. Was that an error? Or was he asked to pull to one side? Let's take a look again. There is Nick Tandy. Oh no, pulls out wide, opens the door, through goes the points leader.
Still all to play for, 50 minutes to go, but it's been a really awesome race. So I had a different strategy from the word go. Qualifying P2 hurt us a little bit. The Toyotas got ahead of us and we got held up a bit by them, but it's come back to us now when we went off strategy from the Toyota, and it's all gonna, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, we've only got 12 seconds on the number 8 with 1 pit stop left to go, so let's see how much fuel they have to put. But yeah, all still to play for.
Number 2 Porsche then, looking for a 4th straight win this season. Car's been undefeated since Le Mans, with a handy championship lead. Number 2, number 1, 1st and 2nd for Porsche. Looking for a 3rd straight win for Porsche here at COTA. Oh, trouble in traffic! Sebastian Buemi splitting the difference between 2 LMP2 cars, shooting out wide, hits the curbs on the inside, no traction when he bounces up in the air, gets around the G-Drive car, no damage done. Final driver change, André Negrão handing over to Gustavo Menezes. The American will finish the race for Senior Tech Alpine. They're still leading comfortably. No mistakes in the pits, none on track. It's been a flawless race for them. And they're always able to build their advantage. Rebellion looking strong in 2nd and 4th. Jackie Chan 3rd and 5th. The other podium positions definitely up for grabs. The Senior Tech car comes out briefly in 2nd, but they do have this under control.
Yeah, apart from the safety car, which cost us quite a lot of time, but now the car is really good. We can push and we are quite good on the tires, which seems to be the key around here. So now we are pretty happy. But, you know, it's still almost an hour to go, so we have to be careful. But we would really like to win the first race of the season for us.
Okay, Sebastian, and box this lap and pit confirm.
Fuel and driver change to Kazuki.
It'll be fuel only, but Sebastian Buemi will hand over the 8 Toyota in third place to Kazuki Nakajima. Looking for another podium shot, but a chance of beating Porsche here in Texas seems to have gone away. Number 7 car moves up briefly into third spot, but they too will need a final splash for fuel. GTE Pro Class leader all on his own, Alessandro Pierguidi in the 51 AF Corsa Ferrari. The guys struggled in Mexico. They had an engine failure in qualifying. They had electronic problems in the race, and they are fighting back in the only way they know how, dominating the class here in Texas.
Yeah, we've been fantastic. We've been really, really quick, and it's unexpected. We really thought we'd come here this weekend with a big disadvantage in performance. But it seems that the car's working fantastically. Alessandro's doing an amazing stint right now. So, so far so good. We've got one more stop to make. It's going to be close with our sister car. So just hoping that we can cross the line in first place.
Number 7 Toyota into the pits from third place. It'll be fuel only for these guys in the remaining 35 minutes to get to the checkered flag. It's a quick stop for the number 7 car, but number 8 retakes third position on the road as they sweep up to the top of the hill. Porsche still leading the race, running 1-2. Toyota scrapping over the final podium spot. Earl Bamber into the pit lane. Comes in as the race leader in the number 2 Porsche. It'll be a shorter stop for them. Fewer laps remain as they head back out. But the number 1 car has yet to stop for fuel and is the race leader. Fuel only for Nick Tandy and a shorter fuel run for them as well. Game on between the Porsches. Are we going to have a race to the line? Half an hour to go and a couple of minutes. And the number 1 Porsche will again have the lead. Tandy comes up to the first turn, and behind him is Earl Bamber, car number 2. We saw this before. The number 1 car in front, number 2 in second position. And again, the number 1 Porsche has the pace. Trouble for the championship leaders in GTE and Matteo Cairoli, rolling very slowly around the circuit of the Americas. They were smoking before their last stop, and it is smoking again from the left rear, and that is not body rubbing on tyre. There is something blowing out smoke, and that looks like oil smoke, maybe transmission. Battle for second place in GTE Pro. Sam Bird in the Ferrari, and up the inside, Michael Christensen in the Porsche moves back up into second place. Porsche still competitive in the final 20 minutes. Bird doesn't want to give it away. Porsche bouncing on the curbs on the inside, somehow finds traction. And through he goes into second place, or does he? Big wobble there as they sweep into the S's. American Gustavo Menezes leading in LMP2 with Senior Tech. Nearly a minute in front, and unbelievably this car has yet to win a race this season. And look how they rack up behind. The 2 Rebellions, the 2 Jackie Chan cars, 2nd and 3rd, 4th and 5th. Trouble, perhaps, for the 36 car. Trouble definitely for Alessandro Pierguidi. The GT Pro Class leader has a puncture. 10 minutes to go, a puncture. Right behind him is the Senior Tech car. They've been warned they need to make their rear light work. Look at the left rear as he goes around the hobbled Ferrari. No light. That could be the end of the race for the Ferrari. It could be the end of the race for Senior Tech. Both are in the pits. Quick work to change the rear end on the Alpine chassis. That will have working lights. And Alessandro Pierguidi and the team, there is a tyre left to go on. Alpine have dealt with their problem, so have AF Corsa. Alpine still with a half a minute advantage. James Collado, though, watching as the Porsche gets closer and closer. On the left is the Porsche, on the right is the Ferrari. That is for the lead in GTE Pro. Inside the final 10 minutes, inches in it, and the number 7 Toyota just saved the Ferrari from being dive-bombed by the 92 Porsche. Race lead changes, replay on board the number 2 Porsche. Number 1 Nick Tandy again slowing way down on the straight to allow the number 2 car to go through. Last minute dramas for Signetek and for AF Corsa, but they still have their class leads. Matthias Lauda leading in 98 Aston, and Earl Bamber final lap right ahead of Nick Tandy. Nothing wrong with the number 1 Porsche that's been asked twice to move aside in the race for the number 2 car. It will be a 3rd straight win for Porsche in Texas, a 4th straight this season for the crew of the number 2 Porsche as Porsche go 1-2 in COTA.
Good job, boys. Well done, Porsche team. That's a fantastic result.
Close, hard racing in LMP1 between Porsche and Toyota, but in the end, it is the German manufacturer that comes out on top in Texas.
The cars were never more than 10 seconds apart the whole race. I mean, that was a proper race, and Toyota kept us honest, and I'm pretty sure that the next races are going to be very closely fought.
A mixture of joy and relief surely at Signetek. Last year's LMP2 champions have taken 6 races to claim their first victory in 2017. But what a win it was. Even the last-minute drama with the rear lights was not enough to derail Signetek. They claim victory with the Rebellion teams 2nd and 3rd. And Gustavo Menezes, the American driver, wins in Texas.
To come here and have such an incredible car and just be able to keep pushing. You know, we had some faults at the end. We had to change the rear block, but you know, when the team told me to push, the car was there and I was able to do so. So really grateful to the boys at Alpine. You guys gave me an incredible car and we were able to win at home a 2nd time.
GTE Pro victory for the number 51 AF Corsa Ferrari, who felt so badly beaten by Mexico and all their troubles. Delight for James Collado and Alessandro Pierguidi. Top step of the podium for the boys in the red machine. Porsche, who were nowhere in qualifying, take 2nd. Sam Bird and Davide Rigon in 3rd spot. Double podium puts Ferrari now 40 points ahead of the close battle between Ford, Aston and Porsche.
I tried to push hard because I knew I had the punch, but I had to take so many risks to stay in front of the Porsche because I can lose a lot with the punch. Fortunately, I lost, not a lot. It was 3/10 was enough to stay in front of them. Then I was quicker, and so I was starting to create a little small gap again, and then we bring it home this race. So, but it was really tough.
Victory in GTE Am for the 2nd straight year in Texas for the 98 Aston Martin. Paul Dall'Anna, Pedro Lamy and Matthias Lauda. But the win was always in doubt. Either of the 2 Ferraris from Clearwater and Spirit of Race could so easily have taken victory. And that makes the champagne shower all the sweeter.
It was the most stressful race probably we've had. I mean, the team was right on the edge from the beginning, so really good team victory today. All the guys did great. Matt and Pedro drove super strong, and yeah, we got it done, which was really nice.
Qualifying had led Toyota to believe that they would not be a feature in the race in Texas, but race day proved anything but simple. The Toyotas and the Porsches had to battle hard for their podium finishes. In the end, it was victory for the number 2 team. and they increase their championship lead. Porsche striding away from Toyota in the manufacturers' standings. At the end of the 6 hours of COTA, Porsche claimed a 1-2 victory. Signatech, the dominant force in LMP2, were not to be denied. AF Corsa's 51 team claimed GTE Pro victory, while the 98 Aston came out on top in the AMS. And after the race is over, one thing left to do: get downtown in Austin and enjoy the after party. The North American doubleheader is at an end. From the Lone Star State, we now head to the land of the rising sun and race 7 in Fuji, Japan.
Come into the pits.
Push. Very good race. Keep pushing.
6 hours of Fuji. The spirit of Le Mans is coming to Japan.